of this exercise is not, understand, I need everybody to make eye contact with me. The goal of this exercise is to not race. The goal is, can I get into my running mechanics faster? Now, with that being said, I'm going to demo bad. It's really easy for people to do this because they're not being courageous enough to keep my head way out over top of my force producers. And you're going to see this a lot. You guys will do this a lot because nobody wants to fall. We tell our athletes, I want you to fall. I want you to dive 10 yards out there. I want a ground ball hit where you have to, oh crap, I'm going to go get it. That's really the mechanics of this. So, very first thing, he's going to set up in a push-up position. The reason why we like the top of a push-up position is this is as aggressive of an acceleration phase as you can get. Straight spine, elongated spine, force producers are way back here, all of his body weight is there, which means just like a rear-driven car, we're going to go ahead and accelerate quickly. Now, we're looking for tiny jabs, so barely the width of the line. From there, we're going to go ahead and drive 6 steps out of there. So go back to where you were, and he's going to demonstrate that a couple of times. So show me just where you're going to place your first step. Very good. Put it back. Where you're going to place your first step. Put it back. One more time. Where you're going to put your first step. Put it back. Now, whenever you feel you're ready to go, Kurt, you can take your butt off and go. Push, push, push! Awesome job. That's what it should look like. Notice, we're not going to overstride. I want you to have the feeling for diving and driving. That's a shoulder width, staggered, and rotate. That's my 40-yard dash start. For the most part, that's what we kind of use. So if I were to take a knee, whatever leg is in front, that hand goes within a thumb sweep of the foot, or the front sweep of this knee. Now all of a sudden, I've got a pretty good 40-yard dash start. Got it? So let me see you guys. You are on your own. You're going to dive and drive. Very good. Very good. Hey! Very good. Oh boy. Sorry. Now, once you set up, I lock this in. I want to find a comfort level. If you look at the angles of the way we do our start, as I lift my butt up, you think about just the basic biomechanics of the human body. If you look at the angle of my knee to my hip to my shoulder, or the angle of my knee to my hip, my shoulder, which one technically looks in a more powerful position out of that stance? So if I'm here, back leg does, correct? Because why? Significant less hip flexion. It's like saying, are you stronger out of the bottom of a squat, or are you stronger out of a quarter squat? I mean, it's not rocket science. So there's a big reason why we really started to get into getting people comfortable with our rocket start, because here you have to roll out of that to engage this, to get this out of that significant hip flex position. Easy if I have a safety. We've got an All-American safety sitting back there. It's easy for me to be in this stance. Now all of a sudden, what if somebody is pressing me? What do I have to do with my feet? Because it's technically easy for me to say, most people do what? Where do they step? What's my first step? I know, with what foot? Right foot. Very good. Now, from this position, if somebody, go and stand in front of me. If somebody is pressing me from this position, what if I try to step with this foot? Yeah, I'm going to get jammed. I'm going to get locked up. So from this position, what do I want to do? Correct? So now all of a sudden, the whole time we're sitting here thinking, you know what, I'm only going to teach this back foot start, I'm only going to teach this back foot start, I'm only going to teach this back foot start. But from a football perspective, from any agility perspective, the majority of the things that we do are non-crossed over base. So keep that in mind as you're developing these athletes. Yes, we got to get their foot in the door with the combine, but if I want to prepare them to play the game of football, it's a completely different story. So his question was, as I set up in my 40-yard dash start, what do I do with my free hand? This is Sanchuan, right? So if I'm going off of my back foot, I want to go what we call a gunslinger action here. Now, oftentimes track guys will come up really high, but what does that do to the lever? Makes it long and slow. Very good. So from this position, I want to be here. Because my first moment when I decide to go is, hop, hop, and I want to go ahead and punch. 1, 2. Now, what if I want to teach the other one? So now if I'm going to go off my front foot, your natural rhythm, sorry, from this position can now not be here. Because what does that do with my hands? What does that do to my feet? Yeah, so now all of a sudden it gives me bilateral asymmetry. So from this position, if I'm going to drive off of this back leg, I want this guy to be right here. Because why? Where's my first movement? Yes, and this guy's going to drive me, which is going to launch me forward, but this guy has to come back. So if I set it back, it's going to throw off my rhythm. So we teach both of those. If you're in this rocket start, which the majority of things we are because we don't have force plates, I'm going to set up in this position with a hand dangling. So whenever I feel I'm ready, I'm going to just take off and go. Got it? Drive, fully extend that. Jump off that, drive off of it. Fully extend off that. Now don't move. Beautiful. Very good. He's up, he's up, he's up. Go. Very good. Like it. Go. Out in front. Hey! Now, this is the one, if you're following along, the catch leg is going to externally rotate that knee. That's the one most people are going to do. So when you're in this position, if I'm coming towards you, when I land, because I'm generating enough velocity, that's why we tell you not to lift up. We tell you to go over. So when this opens up, when that foot hits, that's what's going to happen. We want to control that. So instead of going here, we want to be butt back every single time. Butt back every single time so that we catch those cleats into the floor, driving your butt back. Go get them. So no excessive external rotation. When you're comfortable with it, you try to pivot pretty quickly.
Stay down.
Where you
Sherman,
feel.
so look at you. Toes forward. Look at you.
Look at you!
That was a good shot.
Turn those toes forward, guys. Make sure you turn those toes all the way around.
I'm not going to get a ballet scholarship.
Okay. Awesome. Now try to pivot on the base of the ball and foot. Very good. Base of the ball and foot. In the catch.
Better.
Now treat it as singles, guys. I'm not looking for you to whirly twirl all the way down the carpet here. I want one per, yeah, it's like the spinning teacup ride. Look at you guys. I'm looking for one perfect rep of you producing rotational force and then controlling.
Push your butt back.
Rotational force. It's the same exact thing that you're doing. The only difference is we're going to hop and spin. So it's a forward spin. So low, hop, spin. Catch! Beautiful. Now, what did we just do? We just increased horizontal velocity. That's all it is. So some of us, they're like, okay, oh yeah, that feels good. Okay, yeah, that feels good. Now we're going to create some momentum and then spin so that I stick that because eventually I want to be able to dive and drive over top of it. Good. Good. Dive. Nice job. Push stay. Good. 5 and back. This is also called your 60-yard shuttle. This is the one that they're trying to test your motor. They want to see straight cross.
Yeah, Kurt.
They want to see how Mark feels.
Awesome.
Go get him. Big drive. Very good. Don't pretend to be fast. Cover ground and be fast. Cover ground. Very good. That's shitty running right there. That is terrible running. Don't replicate that crap. Don't let your teammates see what you're trying to do. Get out of there. One more. Redeem yourself, guys. You're spending too much time on that change, Kurt. Get out of your break. That's it. Your first response is dive. Very good. Much better.